I don't know where Lego would go beyond this. Maybe Ferrari for Michael Schumacher and one of his 90s F1 victories. Who knows?
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Bricks and Toys. And in today's episode, we have a very awesome build today. The number one thing that I just want to start off by saying, you guys watched the intro clip. You guys already know where I'm going to go, but I just want to add a little bit of extra sauce on this thing here. And one of the things that makes a married man really happy, especially the longer he is married, is just to be told that he's right. Because one of the things about being married is you're never told that you're right anymore. Anytime you can be told that you're right about something that is like a year or so out from even happening, so basically making proper predictions, is just a huge win. And that's today. I am so excited for this. I called it, guys. I totally called it. I said, due to the extreme licensing that they have with brands like McLaren and Ferrari, it would only make sense to take on Michael Schumacher's F1 car next. Now, I did say in that clip that it would have been like the late 90s Ferrari or something like that, where this is the F2004, which is the car that Michael Schumacher drove to 13 victories and to clinch his final championship in 2004. And that was the final championship because in 2005, a newer driver by the name of Fernando Alonso in a Renault had taken the championship from him, ushering a whole new era of F1 champions. Kind of like what's happened in the modern era with Lewis Hamilton, who took 7 championships, not all in a row, but a good portion of them, just to be outdone by Max. And then he had 4, and now we're into a whole new era of championships with Lando Norris. But getting back to this, it's just really cool that, for one, I guessed that it would be Michael Schumacher's Ferrari, and I was right. But 2, that this is the last major, huge, 7th, never been done before at the time, championship from such an incredible driver. And it's kind of bittersweet when you think about the Michael Schumacher story. He's not one that we have lost like Ayrton Senna, but he's not one that you can call like Nigel Mansell. He's somewhere in between. Once he had his accident in 2013 from skiing where he hit his head, he went silent to be never heard from ever again, and he's always been in protection ever since. So we don't know how he's doing, but we can only hope the best for Michael Schumacher, and maybe one day we'll get an update that's not the bitter truth, but a good update that he did make a decent enough recovery. But time will tell what it has in mind for Schumi, and we'll see. Now, let's talk about this build series of the Icons vehicle. There's 2 things that I want to mention here. One, this is the 3rd iteration of an F1 car in the Icons format. The first was the groundbreaking Ayrton Senna MP4-4 in 2024 when they released it. I could not believe the Lego rumors when that set was announced, and sure and behold, they actually did it. More believable was in 2025 when they backed it with the Nigel Mansell Williams. And now this year, which was extremely believable that they were going to do it, because now that we've had the other 2, we now have this guy. The other thing about this, one of my complaints from the last couple of years is this going to take our Icons vehicle spot? I would like to see, with these classic F1 car builds, a actual vehicle build. And I think it's really cool that as of this year, we don't just have this set, but we also do have the Ford Model T coming out. This will be a separate video, not for today, but it is cool that we got both of these. So if you are a Icons vehicle collector, and say maybe you haven't done the F1 cars because it's not your thing, you've been kind of left out every March, and you had to wait for them and hope for them to make an additional vehicle later on in the year. Well, as of 2026, they changed that. You now can buy the Icon's Vehicle of the Year and or this F1 car at the same time. Now let's dive into our box experience. And as traditional goes with traditional things with Lego, it's generally a black box with kind of like a reddish hue, kind of like put all through it. The bottom is greebled because it is an 18 and older style package. Up here at the top, without any special logos or anything, it just simply says Ferrari F2004 and Michael Schumacher. The photo of the set is of Michael Schumacher with a quote plaque, just like we did on the other two. We have the car highlighted beautifully. We can already see with the car, we got a whole new era of aero, a whole new era of tires, tire brands, all of that stuff. So it is definitely a really cool addition to the other three, where the first two were kind of similar in age, so thus pretty much similar in style and what we would expect. This one is far enough into the future. I think 10 or 12 years from the Williams, we now have different tire brands and things like that, and modern sponsors like Vodafone, which was common back in the day. Coming down to the bottom, we got a Lego logo, Ferrari logo, and the Michael Schumacher signature logo, pretty much highlighting the three things that makes it the most important to create this set. 1, Lego, 2, Ferrari, and 3, Michael Schumacher's family's cooperation, organization, cooperation, however you want to put it. Down here at the bottom, we have our Icons logo, 18 and older, set number 11375 with 735 pieces. Now, I did want to talk about that 735 pieces because for this set, you are looking at $89.99 currently to buy this set. And now I can confirm that for this style of set, we have had a $10 price adjustment from the past two iterations. Mind you, the Williams, I believe, was about 799 pieces, and the Senna F1 was about 693 pieces. So it's in the middle of the last two that you can buy for around 80 bucks, but this one at 735 will be $10 more. And who knows if it's because of the new tire components or the sponsors that go on the car, or just the fact that it's a Ferrari product, or maybe it's just the inflation of how it's been going. I know the brickheads have gone up this year. I know Harry Potter, Star Wars, they're continuing to rise. It's only to be expected that Icons does the same. Continuing to look at our box, on the side of the box, we got a front nose shot of the car right below. They have a really zoomed in shot on that Michael Schumacher minifigure with the plaque, of course, our Lego logo. Moving over here to this side of the box, you've got the set name in different languages. You have the country of origin and our do not eat it. On the top of the box, we have a side profile of the car, which looks so clean in that white and red. Our three things to make it happen. We have a 1-to-1 of our Michael Schumacher minifigure. And then moving to the bottom of the box, we have our Lego.com app information, website, Legal Eagles, barcode, all of that good stuff. And then the meat and potatoes, which is the back of the box. We can see the car now posed up on its stand. The stand is the same that we have gotten for the last two iterations, as well as the car on the stand. You can see the minifigure on the podium, as we can expect by now. We got an up-close shot of the Bridgestone Potenza tires. We have another picture showing that the steering is functional. And then we have a look under the engine cover, which we were able to do with the last two iterations. And then lastly, we have our dimensions, which says it's going to be about 12.5 inches in length and about 5 inches in height. And then, of course, we got the three other logos. And guys, that is our box of the Ferrari F2004 and Michael Schumacher. Now, before I go any further in this video, I do want to state the obvious, in case anybody's watching this video going, why hasn't he said it? Does he not know? Blah, blah. Yes, guys, I do know, like with the MP4-4 and with the Williams, there is a glaring missing element to the set, and that is the sponsor, the title sponsor. and that is Marlboro once again. They did it with the MP4-4. They had to leave it off. They had to leave it off here. And on the Williams, I believe it was the Camel cigarettes on that one. Now let's unbox this set. So with this set, we're going to have 2 punch tabs. We probably only need 1 to make it happen. Just like that. And we are open, guys. The box is packed pretty decently. Let's go ahead. Let's do our pour. And there we have it. Our book came out a little sideways. Just looking at all the bags here on the table, I'm going to say 6, 7. No, I'm joking. We're done with that. That's 2025, okay? But it's still kind of funny because the kids were so annoying with it. Now it's the parents' time to be annoying with it. But I'm going to say 7 bags total. Let's count these out and let's see if that's correct. So we have 1 bag, 2 bag, 3 bag, 4, 5, 6, and 7 bags total. So 7 is going to be the magic number to get this one done. There is an 8th unmarked bag with the tire elements. And I do have to say, if I'm seeing this correctly, these tire elements are dual molded. So basically you have the rubber molded onto the plastic rim itself. Now what I am curious about, and I could not get a clear answer, I may need you guys in the comment section to kind of clarify this up for me. Was the rear tires wider in 2004 than the front? Now we've gone over this whole thing with the MP4-4 to the Williams, to where they fixed it in the Williams, but now we have a whole new tire element because it's a whole new era of F1 by the time we get to 2004 from the early 90s, and I can't find pictures online to clarify this because as looking from the box, all these tires are the same exact width. So these can go anywhere on the car, front, rear, it does not matter. So I am wondering, since this is a new element, that they had to make that compromise like they did with the MP4-4, and it's happening again. But maybe you guys in the comment section can let me know if it is all even around on the 2004 F1 car. Because when I Google it, it says that they are wider. But in the pictures, I can't see it. And maybe that's why Lego didn't splurge for the 2 bigger tires in the rear. But you know what? You guys can help me with that, like I said. We got our book. We got our stickers. Now, looking at our sticker sheet, we have about 25 stickers. We do have 2 number 1s, 2 number 6s, 8s, and then we have 4 number 9s. So we definitely have far more than 25 stickers at this point, more like 32, 33. But we do have 2 14s, 15s, and 16s, and 18s, 17s, 19s, and 23. So we have upwards of like 42 stickers total with this set. And there you guys can get a look at those stickers right there. I do like all of the stickers and the sponsors that they were able to include. So that's not too bad. But I do feel like maybe if we are going to get a $10 price increase, maybe we could go back to having a lot of that printed on the pieces already. Just a thought. Looking at our book, it is a pretty thin book like we have had in the past. We do have our QR code to get our 20 points. And then going into the book, we have the traditional Lego Builder app information, but then we smack dab into the information about the F2004, and there it is in all of its glory back in the day. But I do look at it, and I can see that there is a blur on the engine cover right here for where the Marlboro sponsorship would have been. So they did try to hide it, and you can see on the side profile that it's clearly been removed as well. So nobody will know the wiser unless you actually look up the actual footage from back in the day. So you do get started building with your Michael Schumacher minifigure on page 11 with bag number 1. And it is safe to say that the sponsorships are removed from the driver's racing suit as well, in case that wasn't already obvious. Our final building step is going to be number 198 on page 147. So that's going to be 198 steps, 147 pages to get this one built. So with that, guys, there's nothing else to really cover about this set. It is now time for me to take a day and build this beautiful beast and for you guys to watch the review segment right here. Okay, everybody, it is built. It looks wonderful. And now, well, we got to start talking about it. And what better way to start talking about it than with our Michael Schumacher minifigure and podium display piece. So let's go ahead and let's get right in there with this minifigure. He is holding a gold trophy with a brown base, so it's a two-piece trophy. His body is mostly red, which is his fire suit. He does have front torso print and front leg print. No side print, but he does have back torso print, just those lines of the fire suit. There is no major legible sponsors besides the ones you see on the car printed on his outfit, and that's for obvious reasons. He does have a nice little red cap. Would have been cool to maybe see a Ferrari logo printed onto the cap, but maybe I'm asking for too much detail, because if we take a look at this helmet that he is holding, it does have the details of the 7 championships highlighted on it. Now looking at the bottom of the plaque, we can see our quote, and the quote is, "I've always believed that you should never give up and you should always keep fighting even when there's the slightest chance." Pretty friggin' cool. That's how I feel right now in my financial situation. I don't have the slightest chance, but I'm not going to give up. Let's continue on by checking out this car. So briefly, taking a look at the car on the display plaque, it is featured at that angle, which is perfect. I like the way that the angle shows off the entire car when it's on a display shelf. There is a lot of detail in these, so to have them sitting a little sideways just works well. The base does have a sticker on it right here, telling you all about the F2004, the drivers, the constructor, the chassis, the engine, the weight, designer, stats, all of that good stuff. Now we're going to take a look at the side profile of the car. Everything is pretty much parallel onto the other side, and since the stand puts it at such a good angle, might as well just review from this angle. Starting off with the front wing, we have our stickers of Bridgestone and Vodafone right there. Another Vodafone. There's lots of Vodafones on here. We have another Bridgestone and Vodafone and Shell, and that continues over to the opposite side. We have 3 stickers with the number 1, Shell, Vodafone, Olympus, Fiat, and the Ferrari logo right there on the nose. The front wing is using a lot of pieces that are made out of red and white pieces. We have the tile pieces. We have the L kind of tile pieces. We have 1x4s, 1x2s. We have angled pieces such as these, and these flat angled pieces to complete the inner part of that wing. And then coming over here to the side, we have another mixture of pieces, which is this 1x4 angled cheese slope, which is a really unique piece. I don't think I've seen that one before. Besides this sticker tile on the nose, we do have another one, which is the Ferrari logo right here. We have a mixture of system and Technic pieces to make this piece right here, with 2 more stickers for that red stripe and the white. We have a nice little inlet for our air. Coming over here to the side pod, we have nice curved elements going down into 4 more stickers, which is the Shell logo, Vodafone, this stickered piece, and that stickered piece deep down in there. We can see the floor of the car right there, and it looks really nice and thin. I like it a lot. And then coming over here to the back of the car, we have more logos, this one including AMD, Shell, and Vodafone, and Bridgestone once again. We can get a good look at those tires. Yes, they are the same width. We've already gone over that, but I guess the width of the tires was very incremental in these years, with the back being ever so slightly wider. And maybe Lego didn't think it was necessary to make a special wheel that's only, little bit bigger. But anyway, I think these wheels look incredibly awesome. I like the Bridgestone Potenza tires. That is just an excellent cherry topper for the car. And then we move over to the back of the car. We can see system bricks to make that rear spoiler. We got a little 1x element for the rear little taillight, and interesting part usage to make the rear foliage for the air. And then coming over here, we can see we don't have any stickers on the rear wing. That's to be expected. But we have a lot of nice slopes and pieces all throughout the engine cover. And then we have these little interesting little pieces right here. And this makes it really easy to pull off the engine cover. We'll get to that in a second. We have 2 more stickers for the seatbelt straps. We do have a little bit of a weird steering wheel in the cockpit. It doesn't look very F1-esque. So that is kind of odd. We have a little bit of a windscreen piece right there. Now, coming back here to the engine cover, I do find it a little weird to see the two studs on each side. Kind of feel like maybe a little extra building technique with some tiling would have looked really nice to tile it all off. But I guess they want to leave a little bit of studs so you know that this is a Lego product. Let's go ahead, let's pull off that engine cover, which we're just going to do by pulling. And there it comes off. With the engine cover laying flat, we can see white, red, angles, slopes, all the traditional things that we would expect. There is no sponsors on the engine cover for obvious reasons, once again. And that's the bottom construction of the engine cover. Now looking at the engine bay, it's not as detailed as ones in the past. Just two stickers for the Ferrari on the engine cover. We can see our V10 engine in there. No cabling or anything. We do have white and green inside of here. That is an Easter egg, I believe, to the early days of Michael Schumacher. I'm not exactly sure. I do like the use of these graded slopes inside. That looks really nice. Other than that, not too much to really talk about in here, and this is all easily to cover up just with putting that back on. Removing the car from the stand is as easy as one good pull, and that drops it down. And now you can get a look at it flat on the table, and it even looks even better flat on the table. Not going to really talk about anything on this side. It's all parallel to the opposite side. The only difference is these center axle pieces are red, where on this side they are blue. Other than that, guys, there's not too much. There is one more detail I almost forgot, which is another sticker element hidden down there in the cockpit, which is basically the Ferrari chassis number. And then, looking at the bottom of the car, we got that tan piece, which is the wooden plank, which was incorporated after the 94 season, I believe. And then we just have a lot of these little pieces that holds on all the plates onto the floor. Not too bad, guys. I really, really like the look of this one. I wonder what they look like all together now that we have all three. Just excuse the darkness, but there we can see it with its prior counterparts. This is looking like a very good collection. Now, guys, let's wrap up this video with a few additional thoughts about the F2004 Lego Icons car with, not to forget, Michael Schumacher. I honestly think if you bought any of the first two, or both of the first two, this is quintessential to your collection. It's kind of like doing all of the Lego helmets for Star Wars and things of that nature. If you're on a roll, then continue the roll. I really don't think that there's anything that's obviously terrible with the build. It didn't feel exciting all that much, but it's a build that you just feel like you are building a model to go with models to fulfill a collection. And that right there is enough motivation to get through the build and enjoy it. I will say the large amount of stickers is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but maybe after doing the Senna, they kind of realized that it's cheaper to make them without the prints, and also printing on the red, it may kind of have like a bleed through, and maybe that's why, because some of these sponsors do have a white in the background, so maybe it would look better with stickers. We can also think of it like that. But overall, I do think it is really cool because, like I said before, we've gone from like the 89 MP4-4, was it the 90? Then we did like the 92 Williams, and then we fast forward all the way into the 2000s. So we're getting these cars in basically baby steps of evolutions. Maybe that'll be a Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. I wonder if I'll call it right then and there. Time will tell. But I really feel like it'd be really interesting to try to figure out how they would make such a curvy modern day, say 2014, 15 F1 car. So time will tell, and only Lego knows what their next strategy is. I still love the fact that I guessed this, and that for me is enough. I really think in my last video of the Williams, I think I was thinking 90s, because the prior two cars to this one were very close in the early 90s. So I thought maybe they were only going to try to build these in the 90s due to how still kind of squarish off they were. So now that we've jumped all the way into the mid 2000s, it kind of makes me feel like we are open to trying to incorporate the curves of a modern car. So, like I said, time will tell. I am just a little disappointed that they did raise the price of this car, but honestly, the $10 price increase of this car is not enough to keep me away from it. And with that, guys, I definitely give it a thumbs up from my perspective. Feel free to check it out for yourselves. And with that, if you enjoyed this video, please consider sharing it with a friend. Hit the thumbs up, the like button. That would be awesome. Most importantly, drop your comments down below. What do you like? What do you don't like? Have you built this or have you not? Love to talk with you guys as per usual. And on that one, we'll see you with the next video. You all have a good one.